In today's video, I'm going to be ranking these Fortnite characters based on if I think they could survive a zombie apocalypse. And no, this won't be like cube monsters, these will be actual zombies from media like The Walking Dead, for example, or maybe like World War Z. Zombies you see in different types of movies and TV shows. For the video, we're going to pretend that a bunch of zombies got rifted to the Fortnite island. And since it's Fortnitemares, I felt like it was the perfect time to talk about Fortnite characters trying to survive a zombie apocalypse. Now remember, this is just going to be my opinion, so be sure to let me know yours down in the comments below. If you enjoy my videos, be sure to use code TuneSpider in the Fortnite item shop to support me. And now let's get to ranking. Alright, so I'm going to start with none other than the legend himself, Peely. Now when it comes to Peely, this is kind of tough, because I think there is a chance that he could survive, especially if he's teamed up with like Jones and Hope, for example. I think there's a chance this banana could make it out alive. But really thinking about it, I think Peely wouldn't survive, and there's one reason why, and it wouldn't be from a zombie. I think he would do what he did in the season 9 cinematic trailer, where he sacrificed himself for Jonesy and got turned into a smoothie so Jonesy could survive. So I think Peely could end up doing that same sacrifice here in this situation. I think he would go out a hero. I think he would sacrifice himself. So I don't think he would survive the zombie apocalypse. Next up is Jones. I think he would 100% survive. The only situation where I think he might not survive is if he sacrifices himself as well. Obviously it'd be way different than Peely, but maybe a base or something is getting overran by zombies. I could see Jones sacrificing himself by staying back while everyone else tries to escape, but more than likely I think he's gonna end up surviving a zombie apocalypse. Then next up is Hope, and I think she is definitely surviving a zombie apocalypse. For starters, I think she'll end up seeing it coming. She'll probably have graffiti art about it or paint it or something like that. She might not fully understand that it's going to be a massive zombie apocalypse, right? But I think she'll know to get prepared for something, which is also another reason why I think Jones would survive as well, because I think they'd be working together. But let's say they got separated, I still think Hope is surviving and most likely figuring out a way to get all of the zombies off the island. Moving on to Fishstick. Yeah, no, this isn't happening. I'm sorry, Fishstick. I love Fishstick, but there's no way he makes it out of this. I talked about this in a video where I talked about if these characters could survive the different Fortnitemares villains that we have, but Fishstick just always finds a way to die. It's just kind of his destiny, it feels like. Very lovable character, terrible survival instincts. He's not making it out of a zombie apocalypse. Then moving on to Drift, I think 100% he would survive. It's already known in dialogue from this chapter that the Fox clan are known for running away and being able to escape. So I have no doubt in my mind that Drift would be able to. Plus he has a rifting ability. He also has electricity ability. I think he would easily survive the zombie apocalypse. Then moving on to Midas, I think he 100% is surviving as well. He could honestly just turn these zombies into gold. That actually might be the plan they come up with to survive the zombie apocalypse. The only way I think Midas would get eliminated is if he's caught off guard, kind of similar to the Chapter 2 Season 3 cinematic trailer where he got eaten by the shark, or he gets a little too cocky. That's definitely in the realm of his personality, but at the end of the day, I do think he is surviving. Then next up is Meowscles. Very fast, cat-like reflexes, very buff, definitely surviving this as well. The zombies most likely wouldn't even be able to get to Meowscles. He'll probably be chilling like the very top of a barn or something like that. You know how cats are, they find the craziest hiding spots, and I think that's how Meowscles would end up surviving. Honestly, he might just take a nap and sleep through the whole apocalypse. So I got him as 100% surviving. Moving on to Core, not a doubt in my mind that she wouldn't survive, especially if we're talking about mercenary Core, who was working for the Dark Presence. She was an agent, she has a great shot, she has that cybernetic eye. I imagine she has really good surviving instincts. I think she would definitely make it out of the zombie apocalypse. The next up is Bushranger, and I just don't see it for him. I don't think he's surviving. He might be able to pretend to be like a tree for a little bit, but I think eventually the zombies will know to go after him, and I can't imagine that Bushranger has really good survival instincts. I think he would definitely get eliminated, and if it's Winterfest Bushranger, I will push him into the zombie apocalypse myself. Next up is Mancake, and I think this Pancake bounty hunter would definitely survive. Now there is a part of me that thinks maybe it'll be stubborn and it'll hold itself down at the butter barn until it gets to the point where it just gets overran, right? Then those zombies are having pancakes for days. But at the end of the day, I do think this Western gunslinger would end up surviving a zombie apocalypse. Next up is Trog. Yeah, there's no way. Just look at him. He's not surviving. He honestly reminds me of a best friend of mine, and I know for sure he wouldn't survive a zombie apocalypse, so I don't think Trog will either. Next up is Daigo. I think this would be very easy for him to survive the zombie apocalypse, especially if he has the splinter blades. I mean, come on, he took on Shogun X and defeated him. The only way I think Daigo might not make it out of a zombie apocalypse is if he would like sacrifice himself for his siblings. If one of them were in trouble, I could see him making the sacrifice so they survive. But other than that, I think Daigo is definitely surviving. Next up is Kendo. I mean, at the end of the day, he fights demons, he's a warrior, he's good with the katana. I think he's definitely surviving. He's gonna be slicing off a lot of zombie heads during this, but I could also see him making a sacrifice as well, but I don't think it would get to that point. I think he would end up surviving. Then next up is Jade. I think it depends if she has the sprites or not. I think if she has the sprites, she'll definitely survive. The only thing that makes me think she might not is she was the one that ended up in the spirit realm, so maybe she would get caught off guard by the zombie apocalypse. But other than that, I think she would survive, whether it's with the sprites, one of her siblings sacrificing themselves, but she's a warrior as well, so I think there's a good chance she would make it. Next is the Night Rose. Yeah, I would say this like what, 1,000-year-old warrior. I think she would definitely make it out alive. From what I remember from dialogue, she's pretty much been like fighting her whole life, so I think she's well prepared to take on a zombie apocalypse, and she would be a survivor. Next is Fabio. Yeah, no, he's not making it out alive. I think he'll be the first one gone. Then moving on to Marigold. Yeah, she would definitely make it out. Same situation as Midas, except for I don't think she's as cocky as him. Plus, she's usually the one bailing him out, so I think she has an even higher chance of surviving. There's no doubt in my mind that she wouldn't make it. Then moving on to Valeria, super smart, has fire manipulation. I think she's definitely a character you would want around for a zombie apocalypse. I think she's 100% surviving. Then moving on to Sloane, I think she would survive as well, at least for a while. I think she would have like one of those like typical scenes where they're trying to discover what to do about the zombie apocalypse, looking into the zombies. Maybe she's like in an office or something, and then eventually she gets overran because she stayed too long. You know, one of those like cliche scenes in a movie. But I think she would have enough technology, gadgets, weapons to survive a zombie apocalypse. Then moving on to Kato Thorne, time traveling vampire. I mean, he has two options here. If he stayed, I think he would 100% survive since he's a vampire, and he'd most likely have the kinetic blade with him, or he could just take off in his time machine. So I think he's 100% surviving a zombie apocalypse. Megalodon, I think he would survive at first. I think if he ran out of nitro, then he might be done for. Also, he could take on hundreds of zombies and eventually just get overran or overwhelmed and go out that way as well. So I think he would most likely survive, but there's a chance he would die. Then next up is Lynx. I think with that suit, she would definitely make it out alive. She was also an agent. As we saw in the Chapter 2 Season 2 cinematic, she has pretty precise aim, and she's really smart, so I think she would end up surviving. Now for the next few, I decided to do some groups. The 7, I think they would 100% survive. Besides the scientist, I think he would end up dying, probably from doing research and then get overran, kind of what happened like with the whole Chrome situation. The Supernova team, I think everyone but Ziggy would survive. I think Ziggy would have got caught up in like his recreational activity, just chilling, eating snacks, not even realizing what's going on, then would eventually get attacked by a zombie. The Billiards team, yeah, I feel like they're built for something like this. They would 100% survive. And then the High Stakes Club, I think they would survive as well. They're also built for something like this. And I feel like pretty much everyone on these teams has really good survival instincts, which is why I think pretty much all of them would survive besides a couple characters. But there you have it. Those are my thoughts if I think these Fortnite characters could survive a zombie apocalypse. Like I mentioned, be sure to let me know what you think down in the comments below. If you enjoyed this video, be sure to drop a like and subscribe to the channel. If you'd like to join my Discord server, that link is going to be in the description. And I hope you have a great rest of your day. Peace.